Hello everyone, it's Annie here, Casa Salentina, and today we're going to be talking about slow living in Italy and what it was like for us to live in a small town. Quite a few of you this week, since our frequently asked questions, have asked us about what it was like to live in a historic centre. So today we'll touch on what it was like for us to live in a historic centre and what to expect. I'm out in the beautiful sunshine today and our garden is flourishing like crazy. So stay tuned, we're going to start. And we're back. Now let's talk about what we expected, and we'll talk about what was unexpected.
Yeah, exactly.
So there were some things being well travelled in Italy and staying there months at a time, but moving, like going from either rural or to seaside or historic centres, we probably weren't in there long enough to notice some things. So that's why we say there were some things that we expected, and perhaps yourself, you may already have this vision of what you expect, and then what happens, the reality, the unexpected comes in.
Yeah.
And you only know that when you've been there for a long period of time, and we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4 months, even 1 month probably isn't enough.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to say I would have expected, yes, that there was going to be noise, especially if we're in a town, a busy town with over 30,000 in population. But in our town, having only 15,000 in population, I didn't think we would expect the noise.
Yeah, exactly.
We were actually surprised and shocked. And I don't know why. We should have expected that. But in a smaller town, you also have to think there's going to be noise because you have these narrow streets.
Yeah, narrow streets with the high walls and sound, any sound echoes.
It echoes and it bounces off.
That's right.
And you can actually hear your neighbours talking. Not to take anything from Italians, because I speak very loudly, but you can hear the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And
people downstairs just talking, cars going past, the garbage trucks.
It was really unexpected in what I thought in a small town. Now, perhaps maybe with 1,000, 2,000 population, you may not experience it, whereas we did with the 15,000. But I mean, there wasn't 15,000 in this historic centre.
No.
15,000 is the whole of Galatone, which is a huge area, which you'll see on the map.
Yeah.
But in a historic centre, obviously, it's far, far less. But yeah, just be aware that those narrow streets, tall buildings, the thick walls make no difference. The noise does travel.
Yeah.
And we could hear even... because it's so lively in summer there, that they have bands in the streets.
Even 4 or 5 streets away, there might be a band playing in the street or someone singing.
Part of the charm and the culture, and I guess it didn't bother us in that respect. But I thought, what if we were living here 12 months of the year, and you get that all year round? The restaurant's going to have a band on that night, which it's 50 metres away from our front door. If you had people over for dinner, I don't know. We just things that we didn't expect it. So that was something we didn't expect.
It was, yeah.
And when it comes to the thick walls, we thought, we've got thick walls. So
we thought our place would be nice and cool.
Yes, we did not. This was very unexpected.
Yeah, that was probably the big one for me, actually. Yeah.
We thought, everyone talks about, it's, thick walls are going to be cooler, the insulation will be great, in winter it should be warmer. It didn't happen for us.
No. Summer, the stone seems to retain the heat and
come inside.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And it didn't hold out the noise. So the noise and the heat was there in summer.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And so we were saved.
Yes.
But we did not expect that at all.
No.
So that was interesting.
It was.
So what's your next topic, Michael? What did you...
Food.
Food.
Season.
This is expected.
Yes.
This is totally expected. I think everyone that has travelled or been to Italy, that lives there part-time or full-time, you know that the slow food movement in Italy, it is huge, it is strong, it is fantastic. It is part of the reason we love Italy, is that you're eating in season, and there's nothing better than that for your body, than, you know, to be eating in season, what's fresh that time of year.
Exactly.
But it's hard for people that live like us, you know.
When you're used to being able to go down to the supermarket
24/7?
and pick up anything that's in season or out of season.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, I can't get strawberries, I can't get blueberries. You know, it's
that was huge for me, because I have not a strict regime when it comes to food, but I'm very health conscious of what I eat, and you know, strawberries and blueberries, berries are a big thing for me for breakfast.
Right.
I'm not sort of the cornetto.
I am, but only so many of us, obviously.
Yeah, not that I'll say no to them, but I needed to have my berries, my oats. You know, I had to have a healthy breakfast. You know, even if it was only 3-4 times a week. So that was something you need to get used to in your own home before you leave. So if you're in America, if you're in UK, if you're in wherever you are, Canada, Africa, it doesn't matter, New Zealand, wherever you are, get used to that. Whatever time of the year, if you're there in winter, just get used to that there are certain fruits, vegetables that will not be in season, and they are difficult to get unless you're in the really big cities, like the Milans and the Florence and Romes. And even then, you won't find them in the marketplace itself. We tend to like buying from the fresh food markets.
You may find them in supermarkets, perhaps, but
in the bigger towns. But even in the small towns, we could not find in Conad, which is like, I don't know, a Woolworths or a Coles here in Australia, we could not find strawberries or blueberries once the season had passed. So I think it was July. Once it was July. It was really, really difficult to find there, but we could find them in like Lecce, which was like, it's the capital of the Salento region, the Florence of the south there, because it's a bigger, well, it's a big city, 90,000. So, but you're not going to be wanting to travel 25 minutes to get some blueberries and strawberries, because again, you want them fresh. You don't want to buy like 10 packets and then they're all rot by day 3.
That's right.
So be aware of that one. That's quite huge.
While I'm making my coffee here, guys, it's a good time to say, if you haven't subscribed yet and you're liking our content, give it the big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, that would be wonderful. We really appreciate it.
While Michael's having coffee, I'm having a tea break. Now, what surprised us the most? Here's the reveal. Did you guess? What was unexpected? Pigeon poop. We could not believe how much pigeon droppings we had on our balconies every day and on the windowsills. Now, being in abandoned or small towns, there's a lot of abandoned buildings, so there's a lot of places where no one lives there, and of course the pigeons start to migrate and live there. Therefore, we did not think about that, and so it's something you might want to take into consideration. It's part of your daily cleaning up. The other thing that you see a lot in these towns are stray cats. They're everywhere. We had visitors on a daily basis, so they come and visit our garden and come and visit us. They'd stay in our chimney, on our windowsills and so forth. So that was the unexpected. It was the cleaning of the pigeons. So be aware when you're buying in a small town that there's going to be a lot of abandoned buildings, and they do attract pigeons.
Okay, so another big thing that we had to get used to was not being able to go to a shop any time of the day, basically. They sort of close around 12, 1 o'clock.
Depends on each town. Our town shut at 1 o'clock and didn't open till 5 o'clock. That was, of all the things that frustrated me. So there are frustrations when you move to Italy. More so if you're out rural, because you're going to have more of these problems, but we're talking specifically historic centre today, that you plan your day and then you have to have this block between 1 and 5. That you cannot go shopping for. If you're renovating your home, if you're looking for something, if you're, I didn't get all my stuff for my meal plan today, so I can't even start the cooking process until 5 o'clock. Anything like that, for me, was frustrating. Unfortunately, we have grown up in a country here where I can go at 11 o'clock at night
Yeah.
and get us something from the supermarket if
That's
I
right.
think, oh, I need this first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
That was the most frustrating thing for me, and I look forward to slow living, to better planning, to that rest between 1 and 5 like the Italians do.
Yeah,
And
siesta.
in Puglia, in Salento, in our beautiful area there, they know how to live their life. I can see why they live longer. I
Yeah.
can see why they're
Yeah.
happy. They're the most friendly, happy people.
They are.
Again,
Yeah.
another unexpected.
Yeah.
We've been to Puglia so many times. We've stayed there lots of times. But once you live there, you actually realise they are far more friendly
Yeah.
than we expected.
Yeah. And going on from that, a lot of them are English speaking as well.
I couldn't believe it. So
Yeah.
that was unexpected.
Yeah.
That's on our unexpected
Yeah.
list.
That's right.
Yes,
Don't get me
unexpected.
wrong, you'll go to places where they just don't have a clue of what you're saying, so you've got to do the Google Translate or whatever, but a lot of the... especially
But they
hippie
try.
towns,
So
they do-
even
they do
the
try.
elderly ones that can't
Yeah.
speak
Yeah.
it, they want to help you. So
Yeah.
they try to extract it from you by using their hands.
Yeah.
And as you said, Michael might show them the Google,
Translate.
which he did a
Yeah.
couple of times at the hardware
Yeah.
store
Yeah.
or whenever I wasn't around.
Yeah.
They're very giving. They're extremely friendly, and we found we didn't have a problem with the English speaking.
No.
We had a lot that spoke English in our area of Salento. We were really surprised. So that was very unexpected.
It was, yeah.
And easy. So for those of you who are worried about language, if you learn the essentials and you've got a translator there, you'll find that people are definitely patient, and they'll try to help. They want to know, how can we help? We'll work it out between us.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. The next subject I would say would be the stairs. Inside of a lot of the properties, unless you're on the ground level, your whole apartment's on the ground level, you're going to have stairs. Stairs up into your apartment, stairs up onto the terrace.
We're fit people, don't get us wrong. All right. Some of you may not be fit.
Sometimes it does get to you. You'll probably see a little video here of someone struggling up the stairs.
Yes. Well, you've got to carry your shopping up there. You've got to carry your furniture up there if you're renovating or if you're refurbishing. Just remember there are stairs. Every time I wanted to go do something up on the roof terrace, I go, oh no, I forgot to bring such and such up.
Yeah.
Come back down the stairs, go back up.
Yeah.
So it's going to definitely keep you fit. But if you
Yeah.
have knee, hip problems, don't do well with the heat, stairs are far worse in the heat. Be careful that you're buying property that is definitely ground level. Get a ground level villa.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't matter, again, even in the rural properties that we've been looking at, a lot of these properties also have the next level up. They don't have roof terraces, obviously, in the Tuscan region that we've been looking, but they do have the 2 floors or sometimes 3 floors if they're in an apartment.
Yeah.
So be aware of the stairs.
Yes. And narrow streets and cars parking cars and things like that was like, you go shopping, we're talking about shopping. you come back to your front door, it's a single lane road. If there's a car stop there, you've got to sort of get past them like this. But you want to unload your stuff to your front door. Another car pulls up behind you. They're patient, they just sit and wait.
Yeah, they wait for you to unload your car. So
You can't just leave it there and carry your stuff upstairs. You've got to throw it inside your front door, jump in the car, then get out of the way.
that's right. So that happened quite frequently. We would go into our one way, very narrow. I mean, you could just barely open the door without scratching the door.
Yeah,
Get all your food out, open your front door, put everything down on the landing at the bottom of the step,
yeah,
close the door, wave to the lovely neighbours behind you who waited patiently,
yeah,
then go park your car, which
yeah.
probably 5-10 minutes away
Yeah,
from the...
I'll put a little photo here of when we had our bed delivered. The big mattress van was downstairs, and you'll see there's no room to get past.
Yeah, and the amount of times... That was daily.
Yes.
And then we'd have to then carry them from the bottom of the stairs up to the first floor. We're fortunate. Our home, once you get to the top, all the living area is on one level. So we're quite fortunate. We know there's quite a lot of homes that we've been seeing, especially in the smaller town living in Sicily, especially, where everything is on a separate level. You might have your kitchen on the ground floor, you have your bedroom on the first floor, perhaps a bathroom, maybe not. Then you might have the living room.
Yeah.
Now, that would not work for us. It may work for the younger people, younger generation. We prefer our living to be 1 or 2 levels at least. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a living area and then bedrooms on another level. That would be fine.
Yeah.
Our home, we're very fortunate, as we said, we go up the 2 flights of stairs.
To the main level.
Because ours is not an apartment, it's actually a house.
Yeah.
And then all the living, all the bedrooms, the kitchen, the bathroom.
Yeah.
We've even got a patio straight off the kitchen,
Yeah.
is on that level.
Yeah.
Then we go up, we have the option of the roof terrace, which we love. I mean, sunsets and the views.
Yes, incredible sunsets.
Yeah, we don't have sea view, even though we're only like 6-7 k's away from the beach. We're not. Yeah, we don't have those views. No. We have the rooftops of everywhere.
You can see the church and you can hear the bells
and the church.
You can see the beautiful sunsets in Salento.
So stairs. Yeah. Beware of stairs.
Yeah.
And 3-4 level apartment houses. So they might say, yes, this is a freestanding house, and you think, yes, but it will feel like an apartment. Oh, let's go visit our neighbours downstairs. Oh, they've got a kitchen. Let's go upstairs. That's where the bathroom is.
Yeah.
Be careful of those, and you'll find that they're going to be extremely cheap for that reason as well.
So narrow roads, parking. Yep. Fuel. Speaking of cars, I was a bit shocked with the price of fuel actually. Like we might pay, I don't know, say $1.80 a litre for petrol. There it might be $1.80 a litre, but that's in euros, so it's almost double, I found, the price of petrol. So
I wasn't surprised. I actually knew that energy prices were expensive. I follow the stock market, as you probably know from the charts that I put up. I make sure I check the dollar, our conversion rates and so forth, and where the stock market's going. I knew about the fuel and energy in Europe as a whole. I think most people do know about the gas and fuel. But Michael was... he was shocked.
I was shocked.
I think they were always over $2.40, €2.40.
When we were there.
Always. I don't think we ever was under.
Yeah, that's right.
And
probably more in the touristy areas, like a beachside area as well. Our town's not a touristy area.
Yes.
So
so go out of the towns if you're in a busy tourist area. So if you're just travelling there to look around for the property that you want to buy or where you want to rent, grab your petrol outside the major towns. Our town's not touristy.
Well, we're lucky in that respect because it doesn't become packed with tourists.
Whereas as we get closer to Lecce, the prices become more expensive because it's the big city.
That's right.
If you went to Bari, the closer you are into Bari. But it just. But if you're in the seaside, they're expensive, obviously, because it is tourist areas. So you might think, oh, I'm an hour out of Bari, I should be fine. But you're in the popular seaside there in a summertime, especially. It would be like where we live here. We live on the Central Coast, and while prices are cheaper in Sydney, which they shouldn't be during summer, they're expensive here because everyone leaves the city in Sydney and comes up to the Central Coast to the beach areas. It's the same in Italy. Yeah, they'll go to, especially July, August. Well, they shut down in August, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
The Italians go on holidays.
Yes. Another thing that I'd heard about it, but it probably shocked me, how much rubbish was around in certain areas.
That was expected for us. It's not unexpected. That was expected, but unexpected in our hometown, in Galatone. That was to the point that I wrote a letter to the mayor with a reply. So they were thankful for that because they actually pretty much said that the locals here don't speak up. They're too afraid because they might put the garbage tax up even more.
Funny thing about that letter, because within a week we had a fellow downstairs, and you'll see him here sweeping up the road right outside our place.
And from that week on, it was weekly.
It was.
We had someone cleaning up our street, and it was like, what? And then that group, there's a group, I can't, just forgotten the name of the group. That they get together now, I think it's monthly, and they come around, they clean all the streets.
They do.
With a group of children, like they're doing like a clean up Galatone campaign.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's wonderful to see. I don't think it was my letter. It might have just been timing. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could have been coincidence.
Could have been coincidence that others had complained.
Yeah.
Not that mine was a complaint. It was to bring awareness to the town mayor. It was
people just they just leave rubbish anywhere. It's just
basically in the south, so it's not just our town, but a lot of southern. We notice it a lot outside Palermo. So if you're in Sicily and you're visiting, once you get outside that perimeter, it's a shock. Yeah. We didn't see it in Syracuse, we didn't see it in Taormina. They are more well-to-do areas.
Yeah.
So you don't see it there. You see less of it in that area. But in Puglia we did see it.
Yeah.
And we saw it in our town. So you want a historic centre that is clean. Now, if the historic centre is really popular, you'll find that mayor has taken care of that, and you're going to have.
Yeah.
If you visit there off season and in season, and you always see it clean, you know that you're in a good town. You know you've chosen the correct town.
Exactly.
We've been told since that it really has. They've cleaned up their act.
Yeah.
They've not just cleaned up their act, but they removed all the old bitumen that covered the beautiful original pavers.
They put new pavers down.
We've got new pavers which were being done while we were there, so that was another noise factor.
Yes.
Having that, what was it, a tractor? What would you call that? That machine?
Yeah, like a big bulldozer tractor thing. I'll show you the video here.
We had it there for a month. Talk about noise.
Yes.
Garbage trucks every morning, noise. And then that bulldozer. Yeah, that was fun in a historic centre. That was fun.
Yeah.
But we pay for the beauty now.
We do.
Like the before and after.
That's right. Yeah. You take the good with the bad.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was definitely unexpected to see it in our town, but not unexpected for the south. We did know that, and we'd witnessed it.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Slow living.
Well, I did touch on that earlier on. I think you want to find a town that has that. Now, obviously, if you're in Milan, then you're not going to get slow living in the city of Milan.
No.
It's worse than Sydney.
Yes.
And you'll probably find it's, like equivalent to New York, etc. Your bigger towns, like London and so forth.
Yeah.
But the slow living movement is huge there, and I think that's the attraction for us.
Yeah.
Is that lifestyle?
Yeah.
And I need to slow down. I need to learn that.
Yes.
And I welcome that, and that is probably why I flourish when I'm in Italy.
Yes.
To the point that my son even says it. My son says, you're just a different person. He says, Yeah. So I do learn to slow down. It might take me a week or two, a month maybe.
Yes.
And then it takes me like 2 months to speed up when I get back to Australia.
Yeah.
Because you just,
That's right. You become so used to the slow life.
It's just so good for your mind, body, and your soul.
Yeah.
All of it, right from the food, that your food is 0 kilometre.
Yeah.
You know that it's organic.
Yeah.
Unlike here that we have an organic section and it's triple the price.
Yeah.
There, most of it's organic, and everything is so affordable. The prices, I don't know. We might throw some prices in here of the food, the markets. I can't compare them to Australia.
Yeah.
We're paying something like $12 a kilo for tomatoes.
It's crazy.
We don't want to go down that.
No.
We're not going to go down the cost of living.
No.
We're not going down there.
With the slow living, on the other side of the slow living, if you put an Italian behind the wheel of a car out on the road, I have talked about this in previous videos. It's not slow living. It's I'm on the road. Get out of my way.
Yes.
I have right of way over pedestrians.
They live in the fast lane. What's that song? In the fast lane? Was that an Eagles song?
Life in the fast lane.
Life in the fast lane. So. That's the only time you see them fast. There's no forget about the slow movement, slow living.
Yeah.
And it's all ages, including the elderly.
Yes.
You'll be really surprised. I think that was surprising for us in a small town.
Yeah.
For us in a small town, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
In our small town.
Yeah.
May not be in other small towns, but when we were visiting other towns, we noticed it in everywhere we were going.
Yeah.
I thought, what's going on here? Yeah, it was a little bit frightening. I won't drive in Italy. That's how scared I am. Not just because I'm on the wrong side of the road and the on and off ramps, like I see cars coming towards me and I'm on the passenger and I go, ah!
No.
I won't drive.
Here you're on the freeway. If you want to pass someone, you've got to get in the right lane and then get back into the middle or the left lane. But there it's the opposite. So if I want to pass someone, I've got to go in the left lane. It does a little bit of mind stuff with your head.
Right down to the
Till
roundabout.
you get used to it. And the roundabout, that's right.
The roundabout.
Yeah, go around the right-hand side of it, not the left like we do here.
It's really, and that could be an Australia thing because we're down here, obviously.
Yeah.
But Malta was like, I think Malta and England are the same as us.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're maniacs on the road.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
So, yeah.
We talked about community feel in the town.
There's a big, strong family feel.
Yeah, there is.
It's strong.
Yeah.
They do everything together on a Sunday. Everything just sort of shuts down. It's all family.
Yeah.
They get together every night, family.
Yeah, they do.
The holidays they do together.
Passeggiata.
The passeggiata every night they do together.
Yeah.
The family is amazingly strong. The family unit there reminds me of when my mum was still alive, when I was a little child, and we had all our cousins over. Every Sunday was a big Sunday lunch. You do the church thing, but you get together at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And you visit the cousins. Christmas, Easter, birthdays were like, 50, 60 people. And that was before our generation were married with kids. I'm talking about when I was little, pre-teen.
That's right.
The family unit is still big there, and they go on holidays. The teenagers.
Yeah, that's right.
With their parents and
That's
grandparents.
right. They go to the beach on the weekend with them.
No phones.
Yeah.
They're in awe.
Fun.
They're in awe
That's
of their grandparents. They love their grandparents. We don't have that anymore in our society where we live here anymore.
No.
It's the community feels beautiful, and they welcome you. So even though we're part-time living in that historic centre, we've become such good friends with the people there.
That's right.
And they ask if you need anything, and that's really big, and that we're in contact with them on WhatsApp.
Yep.
Our neighbours.
And other people.
And other people, obviously. And the expats. So there's an expat community family there as well. Once you get into town and you make friends with the Italians, then you'll find that there are other people from other countries, whether it's Germany, whether it's Canada, the UK, New Zealand. We've made friends from New Zealand, Australia. Then you have another little family there that you become friends with, and again we've kept contact. We have a little group that we keep in contact.
Yep.
So you form another family there in the historic centre where you buy your home, or where you go to live or rent. It's the same thing, rent or buy.
Yeah. Even when there's a festival on, just talking about festivals, we went to an amazingly huge festival in our town, and they come from far and wide. All different towns come together.
They support one another.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
There's a festival on somewhere, everyone goes to that town.
That's right. They just go. Yeah. We have something here called what's that drink where they go hopping? I can't even think of the word. I don't drink anymore.
Yes.
I haven't drunk for years. Bar hopping, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, there they do festival hopping.
Yeah,
they do festival hopping.
They do.
It's like
pub crawl.
Pub crawl. That's the word. Pub crawl. Well, they do drinking. Festival crawl there.
Yes.
Every night in summer, practically there was somewhere to go. We had a website that we looked at every morning, and they told you the 4 or 5 festivals, and you just chose which one.
Yeah.
Potluck. Which one are we going to go to tonight? Because the towns in Salento they're all like 10 minutes away from one another.
Yeah.
So you can go to probably 2 festivals in one night if you wanted to, but which we didn't. We just immersed ourselves in the one festival.
Yeah.
So there is plenty of entertainment. We had a question during the week about what sort of entertainment would be in Galatone or small towns.
Yeah.
And we told them that you've got just walking outside your front door, going into a piazza, there's entertainment.
Yeah.
Just people watch.
That's right.
Or go down to your local cafe, go down to the beach there, visit one of these restaurants, go to one of the museums, go to visit a church, just walk the streets and the alleys. You don't even, it costs you nothing. There's so much beauty. There is just so much life, vibrancy.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of entertainment. Obviously, they've got cinemas and, putt, golf. They've got all that, those type of things as well.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do there. I wouldn't worry about the entertainment and the festivals.
Yeah.
You've got to go to a festival. They've got them all year round. It's just in summer in our Salento area. There was something on every single night. And if I can find the video of the site that I went to, we'll add that in here as well.
Yeah. How many times did we hear fireworks going off at all hours of the night? So we'd race up to the roof terrace, and almost by the time we got there, they'd stopped. But they'd be going off at midnight, early 9 o'clock. It's just amazing.
That was in our hometown, and I'm sure that was in many other hometowns.
Yeah.
There's always something going on.
Yeah.
Always.
Tell me, did you get used to eating late? The times that dinner is on here, we might eat at 6 o'clock, maybe 7 if we're eating late. But there it's like 8, 9 o'clock they start. They're still eating dinner at 11 p.m.
Look, by month number 2 of living in Italy, you become accustomed to it. The first month is extremely hard, especially for me. I don't know whether it's because it's the dancer in me and the fitness fanatic that I've been all my life. I don't know what it is. But I seem to be rigid and set times, and I've got to do this at this time. And it's out the door, out the window.
Yeah.
So don't expect that you're going to come from your country, get into the historic centre life and expect, I'm having dinner at 6 o'clock, I'm going to the restaurant. It won't even be open.
No.
It won't even be open.
Yeah.
So don't expect that.
No. If you're going to cook at home, that's fine. You can eat, obviously, whenever you want.
Whatever you want, but make sure
you
do your shopping in the morning.
Yes.
And prepare your meal. Otherwise, you're going to have to go get your shopping at 5 o'clock when they reopen.
Exactly.
So that happens in our historic centre. Some historic centres with less people than that, they don't even have a supermarket. You'd have to probably travel 10, 15 minutes by car to the next town. So be aware of that.
Yeah.
Not where we were, though. And not most of Salento. I think we were pretty much okay in Salento with that. Yeah. But yes, we end up getting used to these, I think 9, 10 o'clock. We did that quite often in the end. And you have to sort of book your restaurants when you go out. So if you're not eating at home from your home, you need to book them. And obviously if you book the later session, they don't sort of kick you out. If you book the earlier session, you can see a tendency of them wanting to get ready for the next booking. Yeah. Although most places, they'll let you stay there for hours.
That's the difference between, say, Italy and here. Here, first shift, 8 o'clock, out by 10, or earlier, 6 out by 8 out by, But there they tend to
not in the local. Look, in our town, you could stay there till midnight.
They just leave you.
That's right. Obviously, if you went to a touristy town and you brought in a touristy town in the tourist season, you'll probably find that they'll do that. This has been booked again at 9 o'clock if you go for the early. And they told us always book the late one. They don't kick you out if it's tourist season and you're in a busy town. But we in our town, we could stay there all night. They just keep bringing, and they give you free stuff. A lot of places, if you're going to travel, you don't get the free stuff. But once they get to know you in your own hometown, you just get freebies all the time. And that's just even at the supermarket, not just at the restaurants.
Limoncello at the end of the meal.
I think that's common everywhere, though.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, but even the supermarket, we'd always get extra fruit and veggies. We went to the baker, they give you extra biscuits, extra bread. That's what you find in these small town living. They just get to know you. And then they start asking you questions about your home life and what it was like in Australia. And then you start to get that rapport with them. So that small town living is big. That is huge.
Do you need to talk about Italian citizenship?
Yes, I think I might have mentioned it last week that I had an error with the spelling in one of the birth certificates. I'm just waiting for the new one to come out. Someone else wrote to me this week in the USA, and they had the same problem with the surname spelling. So it is very, very common. So be careful to check that if you're moving to Italy and you're getting your citizenship done. Really check that. And you probably have heard it's been all over the social media, everywhere. Italian newspapers, news radios, quite a few YouTube channels now have really been talking about it. We won't get into it. We'll just let you know that yes, the law has changed. Those of you that made appointments to try and get your citizenship past the second generation, yes. So you can only get it through your parent or your grandparents.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get it through line further down the track, that is now obsolete. And the other thing is, if your parents were living recently for 2 years in Italy, that was another way you could get your citizenship. So if the parents have been there for 2 years or more recently, you'll be fine. And if your parents or grandparents are Italian and have not given up their citizenship, you still will be fine. Keep your appointments. Do not cancel them. As you know, they're taking 1 year to 2 years ahead now to get appointments.
Yeah.
And they don't answer you. You can email and ring them all you like. The consulates are way too busy. So that's something I'll just quickly bring up.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
So if there's anything else that you can think of or want to ask more questions on the topic of what it's like to live in the historic centre, please let us know below. And for us, we're only talking as a part-time living. We're talking basically from our town of 15,000. Well, when I say town, the historic centre, as I said, is much smaller. I'd be surprised if it's 1,000. I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
in the historic centre. But obviously the advantages are that you do have all your amenities, all your facilities there. You do have your train station where we are, for example. Whereas if you were rural or seaside, you perhaps may not have those amenities. You may not have, the medicals, the hospitals, the schools, because obviously we've got the schools being at the historic centre as well. Medical centres, doctors, dentists, that sort of thing. And just be cautious when you're thinking about where you want to buy, but just think about those little unexpected things that we were talking about earlier on, like the noise, for example, in the narrow streets, and the parking where you have to carry your goods. And the stairs.
Yes, stairs.
Yes. Common in Puglia architecture.
Yes.
We've noticed. You'll be fine if you're out in a trullo, out in the countryside, rural, if you're in one of those lamias or those villas, not a problem at all, because there's no stairs unless you're going to your rooftop terrace.
We do have a playlist called A Day in Salento.
We do, so you might want to go in there and see some of the towns for anyone that's new that has not seen them yet. And definitely go in there and you can see some of what the towns look like, get a general feel of the urban sprawl in a historic centre. Because we visit a lot of the historic centres in A Day in Salento while we were living there. And we will continue that again this year when we go back. We're going to do the same thing with different towns and maybe the same towns again, just to see what the difference is. Our town already looks different with all the new paving.
Exactly.
And it's cleaner.
The cleaning.
We'll definitely show you that. And we want to definitely say thank you to all our subscribers. We've hit 1,600.
Yay!
Yay!
Big thank you.
So thank you. And thank you for all those comments. Thank you for all the emails this week. Hopefully we've covered more of those answers for you in today's vlog, because it was a lot about buying or renting an historic centre. And hopefully we've covered that for you. And we look forward to see you next week. Are we here next week? Yes, we're still here next week. I've got a big family reunion next week.
You do?
I do. All the cousins, all the Gugliottas, that's our surnames, are getting together. I don't know, probably 50, 60 of us. Yes, so that's going to be a cousins reunion. We might film that. We might put some of it.
Might put a little bit up.
Yes. And have a great week. Ciao ciao. Ci vediamo.